Quality is probably, out of all of the functions within a project, the most integrative and probably one of the most important. If you've got good quality on a project, it normally means that you're managing your stakeholders' needs and they're happy with the way that you're progressing. So what underpins quality in a project is what your stakeholder requires, delivering to that quality around those triple constraints of the scope of work, the budget that you've been allocated, and indeed the time frame that you've got to deliver these things in. In terms of there is a cost to quality that project managers must take into place. So we need to understand that to have a good level of quality on a project is going to cost you to make sure that we've got good conformance on the project, and that's typically through making sure we've got the right processes in place, we've got tests, inspections, the audits, the reviews, whatever quality assurance methods we're using are built into the project. These are real things. This is real work that takes time, effort and resource. So there's a cost associated to that. On the other hand, there's also a cost associated to poor quality or a lack of quality and non-conformance, and we need to be really aware of that as well. Rework, extra time, extra cost and extra resources are brought about by having a lack of quality or poor quality within a project. An example that I can give you around a lack of poor quality, many years ago I was asked to manage a project where we were getting our external construction workforce onto a computerised dispatch system. One of the components of that was giving these guys ruggedised laptops, installing them into their vehicles and essentially dispatching them their work electronically through these laptops. One of the issues that we had while we were developing this solution was how do we restrain these laptops into the vehicle so that if there was an accident, for example, that they're not going to float around and kill somebody. So we came up with this fantastic approach of using some webbing, seatbelt webbing, and came up with a little technique and got some prototypes made, and we tested them within our own environment, and they seemed to do the job perfectly. We were at a point where we were confident that we had the right solution. The quality was definitely there. These things were rated well and truly, much higher than what they needed to in terms of the webbing and the buckles. And we were about to go into mass production for these across the country. And we went and asked Fleet some of their requirements around restraining where we could place these things. And lo and behold, Fleet basically told us our solution was not going to cut it. So there was a whole stack of requirements, a whole stack of standards that we were unaware of, and indeed what that represented to us was basically going back and starting again. And I guess there's an important lesson around that. The quality, there was a lot of rework involved, a re-engineering of the solution, but more importantly it was about involving the right stakeholders at the right time. So if we had have discussed this with those stakeholder groups, particularly Fleet and the standards guys earlier, we wouldn't have run into that trouble and we wouldn't have had that extra cost. So.